Corrie ten Boom, who was in the concentration camp with her sister Betsy for hiding Jews. Some of you know this, but they're in there and they're praying, and her sister Betsy says, "You got to give thanks, even in the concentration camp. Give thanks for everything." And she's giving thanks. Okay, I'm giving thanks. She said, "I'm not giving thanks for the fleas all around here." Her sister says, "No, you give thanks for them too, because you brought it up. You give thanks." And I'm not going to. Finally, she says, "Okay, Lord, thank you for the fleas." And her sister said to her, she said, "You know what? By next spring, if I have it right, something like, we're both going to be free." The next spring, her sister went to be with the Lord, and and Corrie ten Boom was liberated. And she didn't know why she survived, because other people, other women were killed. She didn't know why, but she found out afterwards that it was because her bunk was filled with fleas. And they didn't want to go in there at the choosing time. She was saved by the fleas that she thanked God for when she didn't know why she was thanking God. You thank God in faith at the end. You don't have to see it. You praise God anyway, your faith. When Richard Wurmbrand, who suffered for his faith in communist prisons, when he came out of all that torture and all those things, he was asked, "How was it?" He said, actually, I asked him when I met him, I said, "How would you sum it up?" He said, "Romantic." He said, because it was with God, the testing brought him closer to God than he's ever been. He was a pastor. And God said to him, he ended up in chains. He said, and he's saying, "Why, Lord? Why?" At the beginning of the imprisonment. "Why?" And the Lord spoke to him and said, "Because you're always running around doing all these things. I had to chain you to be with me." But he learned the purpose, so he's giving thanks to God in the test. And he's believing. When you're in a test, believe the victory before you see it. And when you don't even know why, I'm believing there's going to be good here, Lord. I'm thanking you now for the victory at the end of it. Do you think that he regretted going to the prison? He never regretted it. And you know what came out of it? Instead of being a pastor in Romania, he ended up being a pastor to the world. He had a pastor to all the believers who were in persecuted, a ministry that serves God to this day. After it's over, you see the fruit of your test. The result, but the key is remember it before it comes. Give thanks before it comes. Now let's get counsel. This is counsel from Peter, just from that verse. Now let's look at another disciple and see what he got. These are all students. And this one was named Yaakov. We know him as James. And here's what he says. James 1, verse 12. "Blessed is the man who endures testing. Because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him." Blessed is the man. Now you expect to say, blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord. That's good. But it says, blessed is the man who perseveres in trial and testing. Why? Because he's saying there's going to be a blessing here. And the word used here for trial and testing, the word used here is a word that perasmos in Greek, which also means it can mean the proof, the proving of your faith, but also means the experiment. It's almost like God and Job. When God said to Satan, watch what he said, and Satan says, "Can I do this?" And God says, "Okay, do it. This is the experiment. But Job's going to prove you wrong here." And it also means experience. It's one thing to talk your faith, but it's the testing that is the experience of your faith. That's what shows your faith. It also means adversity, problems. It also means temptation. God is showing here. There are some people who preach, that preach that Job went through this trial and testing because he didn't have enough faith. Well, that's crazy. It's clear in the Bible why he had the testing. And it wasn't because he didn't have enough faith. It was because of his faith. God says, "I will prove him." This is going to prove now. Have you seen my servant Job? It puts your faith to the test. It's a good thing. At the end of it comes blessing.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org. or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA.